out there with us, and we can apply the process very intensively, you know, so that they attain liberation in a comparatively short period of time, you know, then I'll consider my work complete. And if anything else happens, well, that's the icing on the cake, you know.
Isn't like this period of time we're coming to, 2012, supposed to be very good for being liberated?
Well, it's good in the sense that it's really going to light a fire under people, you know. It's really going to raise the necessity of attaining spiritual advancement to unprecedented high level.
Yeah.
Always in the time of disaster, war, and general insanity, that's the time when people get motivated. They're like, uh-oh, I better do it now. When things are going well, life is easy, you know, fish are swimming, the summer is hot, you know, everybody's like kicked back, enjoying, oh yeah, life is good, man, you know, cool. And there's no real impetus. When the economy is going good and everything's fine, you know.
Yeah.
But when things get crazy, that's when people realize, uh-oh, maybe this world ain't everything it's cracked up to be. You know, maybe I ought to have a plan B here. You know, so they start thinking about spiritual. Actually, we're all in danger, all the time.
Oh, yeah?
Because, yeah, just by virtue of being in this world, we have to die.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I mean, whether it's in 2012 or, you know, tomorrow or 100 years from now, we still have to die. So there's still the same necessities there.
Yeah, I know, but some younger people are not thinking about dying in the next few years.
Younger people think they're indestructible.
Yeah.
I remember. I used to be like that. And then I went into Saturn period. And Saturn period began with a bang. Big car wreck. Wham! Smash.
Okay.
Yeah, knocked all my front teeth out. So like in a half a second, my life turned from you know, total you know, enjoyment to like total suffering.
When did that happen?
When I was like 19.
Oh.
Yeah. So it interrupted my college education for like 6 months. I was, you know, had to recover and big mess. So unless something happens to wake us up, we think, oh yeah, life is great. You know, I have plenty of time to figure out a solution to my problems. No big deal, right? We don't understand that at any minute we can get run over by a truck, or, you know, this airplane crash on our head, or, you know, I mean, anything can happen, and it does. You read about it every day in the newspaper. And in fact, there's a place in the scriptures where there's a Rakshasa asking riddles of King Yudhishthira. And one of the riddles is, what is the most astonishing thing in the world? And Yudhishthira's answer is that people see other people dying every day, and yet they think they themselves never have to die.
This happens to other people.
Right. That's the most astonishing thing in the world. Or like Einstein said, human intelligence is limited, but human ignorance is infinite.
So the only way we can become liberated is in the physical world?
What other world is there?
Well, I mean, after you pass on, you go to the higher spiritual world, right?
No, not necessarily.
Well, I mean, you don't reincarnate right away.
Yeah, you do, pretty much.
I thought sometimes you might spend 100 years up there or something.
Yeah, well, what's that? 100 years, it's nothing.
Well, I thought maybe while you're up there, you'll be smarter, more disciplined, and then you can go.
No. Whatever you earn, whatever state of mind you achieve when you're in this life, that's where you're going to be after death.
I see.
See? There's a shloka in Bhagavad Gita. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatante kalevaram tam tame vaiti konteya sadatad bhava bhavita. Whatever state of mind you achieve or remember at the time of death, that's the state you're going to attain in your next life. Whether your next life is you immediately go into another body, or for some time you're in a between life state, doesn't matter. Whatever consciousness you have when you leave this body, that's what you're stuck with until you can do something to change it. That's what Scripture says. So that means, you know, I don't know if you ever had a near-death experience. Well, basically what happens is your whole life passes before your mind's eye.
Yeah, I heard that.
So what do we think of, or what do we remember at the time of death? It's what we're doing right now, in this life. Nobody can artificially force themselves to think of something different at the time of death. Because at the time of death, what's happening is that the soul is leaving the body. And so it's like all the experiences that we have in that life are being like, it's like a tape being rewound, you know?
Oh, yeah.
You know, and the whole life is passing before your eyes in just a few seconds. You remember everything that happened. It's really weird. It's like I saw my whole life, like it was like this chain of pictures. It's hard to describe. It's like this long thing, you know, full of pictures of incidents of my life. And Krishna was pointing right in the middle of someplace and saying, here you are, right here. See, so you're not done yet. You have to go back. And I'm going, oh, do I have to? And he's going, yeah, I have stuff for you to do. So I go, okay. You know, because I knew my body was in a mess, you know, so I'm going to have to. But anyway, you cannot think of anything other than what you have done in this life at the time of death. So in other words, we should perform activities now that have the quality of spiritual consciousness. Then at the time of death, we'll automatically remember that state of being and we'll go to a higher destination.
Well, that's more important than trying to make a lot of money.
You bet it is. Yeah, because those kind of thoughts are the mode of passion. And they'll bring us right back to another human birth, at best. Whereas the thoughts of spiritual life, thoughts of God, impressions of spiritual quality will change our consciousness, and then at the time of death we'll remember those and we'll go to the spiritual world. That's why we chant again and again and again the same mantra over and over and over and over. Because we're trying to create as many impressions of spiritual quality as possible to counterbalance all the material impressions that we're absorbing through our senses. So the process of spiritual life, we chant, you know, you heard me in the morning, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama.
But you don't need to do it anymore, do you?
Oh, I don't need to, but I do, to show the example.
Okay.
And also because it feels good.
Yeah.
But really, everybody needs to perform, the basic sadhana is chanting, right? It's called it's called Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana means eternal, universal, and Dharma means religious principles. So those religious principles that are considered eternal and applicable to everybody in every status of life, even liberated souls, that's called Sanatana Dharma. So chanting the name of God on the beads as a regular daily morning exercise, this is recommended for everybody, liberated or not liberated, or in any condition of life, or any status of existence on any planet in any universe at any time. That chanting process is required by the Vedas.
Does it make any difference whether you chant by yourself or you play a recording and chant along with it?
Either is okay.
Okay.
Either is okay. But if you chant by yourself, it develops your initiative more, it makes you stronger. It might be easier to chant along with a recording, but it makes you stronger if you have to chant by yourself.
Yeah.
The trick is to engage as many senses in the chanting process as you can. That's why we use the beads.
Oh.
Not only to count the number of mantras, but also to engage the sense of touch.
Where do you buy those?
Any Indian store, any Hare Krishna temple, a lot of places carry it. Any bead store will have it.
And should we burn incense?
That's nice too, yeah.
When you say like the same amount of mantras each day, if say one day, just for example, you go through 300 mantras, and the next day you only have time for maybe 50 or so, and then the next day it's 300, and then the next day it's maybe just 100. Is that disruptive? Or
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like if you're working out, right? You do a certain number of reps each day, and if that gets interrupted, it like takes you a couple of days to get back into the routine again, you know? Or like if you're jogging and you're up to like 2 miles, and then you don't have time to jog for a couple of days. Well, the next time you're going to do jog, you're going to be stiff, you know?
Right.
You're going to have to push to get your 2 miles. So it's just like any other training. Like if we were talking earlier about music. If you're developing your chops on an instrument and you don't practice for a while, it's like you lose so much time, and you have to do that same. You have to develop those chops all over again.